Coming up on this episode of K9 to 5, Italian water rescue dogs show why their work is so important in an emergency. Stories and more right now on K9 to 5. We begin with Moss. At the end of the rainbow, as the story goes, one finds a pot of gold. But for a family living in the shadows of the Italian Alps in the Lakes region of northern Italy, the treasure is found in a dog named Moss.
Moss è un Terranova.
Moss is a 10-and-a-half-year-old Newfoundland and my best friend.
Ferruccio Palenga's love of this animal grows from a fateful day nearly 10 years ago, when Ferruccio's daughter Valentina went for a swim during a family vacation, and Moss discovered what would ultimately become her career.
It was a typical weekend. My family and friends were in the mountains. I was young and didn't know how to swim very well, so I went with a friend. We swam out pretty far. I swallowed some water and started to panic. My friend started to panic too.
I was with Moss when I heard them calling for me. I ordered Moss to swim out to them.
Moss swam out to us. I grabbed onto his fur, my friend grabbed onto his leash, and she pulled us in. Without a doubt, she saved my life.
At that moment, I realized all of the special training we were doing was right on. In fact, we dedicated ourselves not only to training Moss, but to other dogs.
And now, nearly a decade later, Moss is a certified lifeguard, and Ferruccio, the founder of the internationally recognized Italian Water Rescue School for Dogs. Working closely with the Coast Guard, the dogs are trained to board the helicopters that respond to emergencies in the port of Venice, as well as the region's lakes. The chopper hovers above as dog and handler jump to save the victim's life.
We're very proud of the school.
Joseph Marino is president of the Italian Coast Guard.
The importance of the dogs is rather serious, especially in certain situations where the dogs are essential. Extreme cold water and places where it's difficult for humans to go, but the dogs are in their element.
Newfoundlands, like Moss, are ideally suited for this kind of work. They have webbed feet and thick, oily fur for warmth and buoyancy. But water rescue dogs come in a variety of shapes and sizes.
Each dog has its own strengths and abilities, so we try to determine the capabilities of each dog and what that dog can do for you.
Ferruccio and Moss train hundreds of volunteers and their dogs to assist in water rescues, and it all begins on dry land, strengthening the bond between dog and handler.
In this exercise, the dogs are held while the owner runs away. Then there's a strong sense the dog must join the owner again.
The next step, the same exercise. This time the handlers are in the water. The rescue dogs strain to do their job. In a basic rescue, the dog wears a special harness and pulls the handler to the victim. But the more experienced rescue dogs actually perform their duties by themselves. Watch this demonstration. The dogs gently grasp the victim by the wrists. And tow him back to shore for resuscitation. It takes anywhere from a year to a year and a half for a dog to reach this level. And while dogs must weigh at least 60 pounds to begin training in water rescue, the strength and endurance develops during the exercises. A well-trained dog can swim for nearly an hour.
Arriva!
And can tow a boat loaded with up to 30 passengers.
Vai, 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 arriva!
But it is the helicopter training that draws the crowds and creates a party-like atmosphere.
It's wonderful and a very tender moment to see the dogs and the people working together.
This is extraordinary. I never thought a dog was able to help people like this.
Help, indeed. In her long career, Maz has saved the lives of 5 people and assisted in a boat rescue. That has earned her an international reputation and a special place in the hearts of those who love her.
It's difficult for me to describe. She's like my little sister. I look at her as a person and not as a dog.
She's the best friend anyone could have. We've spent 10 adventurous years together.
And while the adventures may be coming to an end for Maz, she will always be an inspiration for those who follow in her steps.